Evening peeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. I'm not quite sure if this video is going to go out before 8 o'clock, but if you are watching this before 8 o'clock Sunday evening, we are doing a live at 8 o'clock to react to the big fight yesterday and any other boxing news that you guys want to chat about. Let's quickly jump into that now though. Let's just go straight to the main talking point, the stoppage. Everyone's had their opinion on it. A few high-profile people have gone back and forth. I think Nick Pete of Fight Disciples said it was a bad stoppage. Adam Cattrall of Fight Disciples said it was a good stoppage. So their next video is going to be interesting. Look, Ben Davison has a split second to make a decision there. Split second. Very much like Anthony Beterbiev a couple of weeks ago, where Tunde decided enough was enough. There wasn't many people critiquing that decision. I think a lot of people said, you know what? Correct decision. With this one, a lot of people, by the way, have said no, bad decision. And a lot of high profile people, Dan Rafael, I think he went as far to say something along the lines of Leigh Wood is going to sack Ben Davison. So a lot of people thought it was a bad decision. I think it was the correct one. I do. He was hurt bad. His head bounced off the canvas. And look, credit to him. He got up. But Lara was waiting to take his head off. Like Lara was literally waiting behind the ref. As soon as the ref said go, Lara's jumping in and he's going to land something heavy. Leigh Wood did speak to Carl Froch, I think either later on in the night or early this morning, and said that he was still gone. Like when the towel came in, his head was still gone, still cloudy. So he wouldn't have been able to defend himself. But there was only 6 or 7 seconds left on the clock. And I do think, even though Lara was trying to rush in, I do think the ref would have separated them again. And I think the bell would have gone. Now, would he have recovered in the minute during the 7th and 8th round? This is all the things that Ben Davison has 1 second to think about. So he's trying to think about all of this. And it's funny because Ben done a little sit down with Boxing Social talking about the Beterbiev stoppage. And he kind of detailed all the things that sort of go through a trainer's mind when deciding whether to throw the towel in. And look, he's got to have to think about all those things very, very quickly. Ultimately, he's got to have to live with that decision. But I think it was the right decision. As I've said on numerous occasions, you'd rather stop a fight early than stop a fight late. You'd rather do that. And you've got to think of the kind of puncher. You've got to think of the kind of puncher that Lara was. Lara is a concussive puncher. Honestly, look, Leigh Wood landed some big shots, right? And Lara looked like at times he was stumbling around the ring. Every time Lara caught Leigh Wood, it looked like it jolted his body. Every time. Like you thought, okay, Leigh's on top of it, then Lara will just land something and you're thinking, wow. And that left hook was something nasty. Honestly, it was something nasty. And sometimes you've got to weigh it up. You've got to look at who the guy's fighting. I mean, if he's fighting a guy that's known as a puncher, you're thinking, I don't want my guy to be able to defend himself and take another one. If he's fighting someone that might be considered a bit feather-fisted, then okay, you know what, maybe we let him ride it out. But I think he's made the right decision. I really do. I think you live for another day. Look, he's got a big following. And what that means is that even on a voluntary, some fighters want to come over to the UK just because you know you're going to get paid. Because he's got a big following, the zone will pay out, and obviously a lot of bums on seats. So he'll come again. There'll be big fights for him. There is a rematch clause. I don't think you exercise the rematch. I really don't. I don't know what more he can do. He was boxing so well. I think I gave Lara the first 2 rounds. After that, I think I gave the next 4. I think I gave the next 4 rounds to Leigh Wood. I thought Leigh Wood was boxing that well. There was even a time when I was sitting next to Tony Bellew ringside, and I was tapping Tony on the leg like, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He seemed to sort of weather those first 2 rounds, and then he started to box brilliantly. Even the cut didn't really put him off. But then he just got caught. He just got caught with a forehammer, and that was that. That was that, man. I mean, they should stop Mexican boxers at the border. They're coming over, and they are damaging our fighters. I mean, again, you look at what Luis Alberto Lopez did. In December, you know, rewind yourself back to Julio Cesar Martinez and what he did to Charlie Edwards. And now this, Lara's done it twice now to Warrington and to Leigh Wood. And that's why after the fight, when I was doing the the ring interview, I was like, you're the number 1 featherweight on the planet. You are. And I said this on my preview video. That was number 2 versus number 4 maybe. That makes you number 1 in my book. I mean, a lot of people say Robeisy Ramirez. No, not for me. He's number 1. Lara's number 1. He's a nightmare. He's a nightmare that has underrated boxing ability. He has an attitude of, I don't care. Like, honestly, he was walking to the ring smiling as they were booing him. Means nothing. Honestly, means nothing. There's a lot of talk now about Warrington versus Lara. Obviously, Lara came ringside and spat at Warrington, which is horrible what you're doing. So they might do that one again. I don't know why anyone would want to fight him. I mean, I get it. Boxers are built differently, but he's difficult. Because, I mean, Leigh Wood did kind of hurt him to the body a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Look, Warrington of 5 years ago, I think, could win. That Warrington that fought Selby in Frampton when he was just a steam train. This Warrington slowed down a bit, so I just don't see how he wins. Honestly, I don't see how he does it. But again, credit to Ben Davison. He's going to get some stick. A lot of people ringside were not happy just because he is the champion, Leigh Wood. He's at home and, you know, again, there is 6 or 7 seconds left. I don't know if Ben Davison knew that. In fact, I know he didn't know that because he asked Eddie about that and Eddie kind of told us ringside, so he didn't know how long was left. But I think regardless of how long was left, even if there was a second left, he made the right decision. Save your fighter. This sport is dangerous enough. And I'm telling you, that Lara looked like he was ready to kill. And I know people don't like me using that type of language, but he looks like he was ready to go. He really was. But look, credit to Leigh Wood. He's been on a good run. He really has. I mean, Zhukan, Michael Conlon, and this one, and doing well in this fight as well. Take time, reflect, chill out, and see what's next. See what's next. Whether it be, I don't think it will be Warrington Wood, but look, it could. It's okay to. You know what the problem is for Leigh Wood? I was gonna say it's okay to go down maybe a couple of levels and then go again. 34. If he was 29, 30, 31, fine. But 34, you just want a big fight next. That's why they're saying Josh Warrington Lara, because Josh was like, well, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm not going to get up for fighting a British or European level guy. So maybe they do that. What they could do for Leigh Wood, which might make sense, is Kiko Martinez. You know, Kiko's coming off that good win against Jordan Gill. Maybe you do that. Maybe do that, right? But yeah, a quick word on the other performances. Dalton Smith struggled a little bit. When I say struggled, it didn't look his best against Billy Allington. Billy was awkward, but Dalton Smith is considered the next best thing, and he will be disappointed that he's gone 12. He spoke about it, that he maybe underestimated his opponent. They do want to do Sam Maxwell next. I was ringside with Sam. We've done a couple of pieces to camera. Sam, obviously the Commonwealth champion, had a win on the undercard. They were going to do that April 29th. That cut, not sure. He's spoken about that he'll glue it together as opposed to stitches, because if it's stitches, then you can't do anything. You can't spar until you take the stitches out. That's 6 weeks. So they might do the glue and they might just roll it. So we'll see. I love Gary Cully. I'm a big fan. I know people might look at the level of opponent, but I'm a big fan. He's a problem. 6'2" southpaw for a lightweight. Confident, arrogant, power in that left hand as well. Problem. I'm not saying he's going to go all the way, but I just know he's going world level. I'm not saying he's going to win a world title because I get what's in that division. I see the other guys coming up from 130. I understand, but I'm telling you now, no one is going to want to pick that to fight. You don't want to pick a 6'2" southpaw at 135 pounds that says he makes weight easy. You don't want that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does next. Gamal Yafai, it's not there anymore, is it? It's not there. I spoke to Lee Eaton. Lee Eaton's the manager of his opponent. And me and Lee actually took the same car to the venue, and Lee was like, my guy's going to beat him. I'm telling you. And look, Gamal is, unfortunately for Gamal, he's just not been active. One fight in 2019, one fight in 2020, one fight in 2021. You know where I'm going? One fight in 2022. It's just, I don't know how you can be the best at your trade, be the best at anything if you're only doing it once a year. I just don't see how it works. So it was always going to be a banana skin, but you know, you got put down a couple of times, and I mean, that was that, isn't it? So yeah, disappointing for Gamal. But look, back to Leigh Wood very quickly. Again, we'll do more videos throughout the week. Courageous performance. Again, he didn't have to take this fight. It was a voluntary, but he wanted to do it. Eddie spoke about that. He did it, and in the end, he just came unstuck. Came unstuck against the best featherweight on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. Especially now with Navarrete going up and Ray Vargas going up. It's the best featherweight on the planet. In terms of what next for him, I'd love to see that Luis Alberto Lopez fight, because both of them are kind of crazy. But I'd like to see Michael Conlan fight him, because Conlan's he's a better boxer than Leigh. He's a better boxer than Josh. But I do think there'll be a time when Conlan has to stand and trade. Sometimes you just have to plant your feet against someone like that, because if you don't, they're a bit Margarito-ish, where they just keep on coming. So you've got to hurt them, deter them. And if Conlan can't hurt him, although Conlan looks like he's starting to sit on his punches a bit more, fill into the weight class, then it could be a long night for Conlan. But I'd like to see Conlan have a go. I think Conlan could beat him. But anyway, guys, quick video. We are going to be live at 8 o'clock if you're watching this before 8. But peace and love to all of you.